I've been up and running around since 6:45. I took my dad to the airport. Anna and I have been recording a ton of content. I went to Pastosa to buy ravioli for today. And the only thing I want to do right now, and I know this sounds ridiculous, it sounds ridiculous even to me, is sit down, crack open a bottle of wine, and share this week's watches with you. So let's do it. Let's start off with this. A vintage IWC Yacht Club. Definitely one of the most interesting and, in my opinion, painfully undervalued watches I have ever owned. Not only does the fact that it was manufactured by, and of course signed, IWC make this watch incredibly rich in horological history, but for some reason that I just can't seem to understand, it makes it a member of one of the most underappreciated subsections in the vintage watch market. The watches were prized at the time of their manufacture. Their brand has continued to have tremendous respect in the watch industry, and yet the modern market has just not caught up to their vintage models. It's almost incredible. But moving closer into this watch in particular, it's its raw steel case and smooth bezel that really take me. What I find so interesting is the fact that it manages to make an otherwise pretty damn dressy watch incredibly casual. I mean, this watch would fit in perfectly with a tuxedo on a crocodile strap, but on a vintage leather or on a distressed suede, it's about as informal as you could ever ask. It's no surprise that I'm absolutely in love with this Yacht Club. Let's move on to this. A vintage Tudor date day reference 94510. It was manufactured in 1989, and I absolutely love it. Not only does it feature the classic combination of a steel oyster case, fluted bezel, and Jubilee bracelet, but its condition throughout that combination is phenomenal. Its case is sharp and thick, and its bracelet is virtually untouched. Beyond that, these Tudor date days, much like the IWC we were just talking about, pack an absolutely incredible, a stupid amount of punch. It's got all of the beauty and reliability of its Rolex brethren at a fraction of the cost. Speaking of the crown, look at this. A Rolex OYSTER Perpetual reference 1005 from just a year earlier, 1988. This one also features incredible condition on its case, dial, bezel, and bracelet. But what makes it even more interesting is the unicorn rare and equally beautiful rosy patina the 14-karat yellow gold has developed throughout. Widely regarded as a product of airtight safekeeping. Patina like this does not come around often. In fact, I think I've only ever seen it 2 or 3 more times over the last 3 years. But every time I have, a very lucky watch geek has swept it up almost immediately. And how about this vintage chronograph? Signed Accurist. Its matte black dial, orange accents throughout, and thick steel case make for just a classic combination that has never failed. Throw in that beautiful glossy bezel and, now we're just spoiled. How sick is this? A Swatch Jellyfish from the late 90s, never been worn. This is probably one of the funkiest and coolest watches I have ever seen. I mean, I handle AP Royal Oaks, Datejust, Day-Dates, I handle Paddocks, and this $100 watch is something that has stopped me in my tracks a ridiculous amount of times since I've acquired it. I mean, just look at it. I mean, this thing is almost too much fun. Ending on a classic T&H note, a Rolex Datejust reference 1603. It features a creamy matte Sigma dial, and its original folded link Jubilee bracelet. This is the combination that got me into watches. This is the combination that has made me never look back. So that's it, guys. That is what I managed to curate for you this week. It was a ton of fun, believe me, just as it will be to answer your questions, wrap them up, and ship them off to their new geeky homes. So don't walk, run to theoandharris.com.